There's a particular kind of exhaustion that has nothing to do with the body. It happens in the space between your thoughts and the world. When you've spent hours inside your own head, turning over ideas like stones in your hand, examining them from every angle until the light outside has changed and you realize you haven't moved. This is the life of a deep thinker. And if you've never experienced it, it might sound peaceful. But peace isn't quite the right word. It's more like living in a library where every book opens itself, demanding to be read all at once. Deep thinkers don't choose to think this way. It's the architecture of their consciousness. The way some people are naturally drawn to movement, to action, deep thinkers are pulled inward by a gravity they can't escape. Their thoughts have thoughts. Their questions generate more questions. And while the rest of the world seems content to accept things as they appear, deep thinkers are compelled to look underneath, to find the mechanism, to understand the why behind the what. But here's what most people don't understand. Deep thinking isn't the same as intelligence. You can be brilliant and still skim the surface of life. Deep thinking is something else entirely. It's a relationship with uncertainty. It's the willingness to sit with ambiguity until it reveals something true. It's not about having answers. It's about having the courage to keep asking, even when the questions lead to more complexity, not less. Think about how most people experience a conversation. They hear words, they respond, they move on. But a deep thinker hears the words, notices the tone, observes the body language, considers what wasn't said, wonders about the context, and then spends the next 3 hours replaying the entire interaction, looking for patterns, for meaning, for truth. They're not overthinking in the anxious sense. They're excavating. Because to them, every human interaction is an archaeological site, and they're trying to understand what's buried beneath the surface. This is why small talk feels like torture to them. Not because they think they're above it, but because their brain literally can't stay there. They can participate in small talk, of course. They've learned how. But it costs them something. It's like asking a musician to listen to music and not hear the individual instruments, the key changes, the subtle variations in tempo. They can't unhear what they hear. Deep thinkers exist in a state of perpetual multidimensionality. When they look at a problem, they don't see one solution. They see 12, each with its own set of consequences, each valid in its own context. This makes decision-making agonizing, because how do you choose when you can see the value in everything? They understand that every choice eliminates other possibilities. Every yes is also a no to something else. And they feel that loss acutely, even when they're choosing something good. But let's talk about what happens in the quiet moments. When a deep thinker is alone, without distractions, without anyone to perform for. This is when their mind truly opens up. Some people fear being alone with their thoughts. Deep thinkers crave it the way others crave sunlight, because solitude is where they finally get to be themselves without translation. They don't have to slow down their thoughts to match the pace of conversation. They can think in spirals and tangents and sudden leaps of connection that make perfect sense in the internal logic of their mind. This need for solitude often makes them seem antisocial. But the truth is more nuanced. Deep thinkers aren't avoiding people, they're avoiding superficiality. They're protecting their energy from interactions that drain more than they nourish. Because when you think deeply about everything, you become acutely aware of how much performance is involved in being social. The masks people wear, the scripts they follow, the expectations they project. There's also a particular kind of loneliness that comes with deep thinking. It's not the loneliness of being alone. It's the loneliness of being with people and still feeling fundamentally unseen. Because when your mind operates at a different frequency, it's hard to find genuine resonance. You can be surrounded by people and still feel like you're speaking a language no one else understands. You can be loved and still feel unknown. This is why when deep thinkers do find connection, it's profound. When they meet someone who can match their depth, who doesn't flinch at complexity, who actually wants to explore ideas rather than just exchange pleasantries, it feels like coming home. They don't need many friends, they need real ones. One person who truly sees them is worth more than 100 shallow connections. But deep thinking isn't just about analyzing the external world. The real intensity happens when deep thinkers turn that analytical lens on themselves. They don't just notice their emotions, they notice their emotions about their emotions. They question their motivations, their desires, their fears, looking for the original source, the truth beneath the truth beneath the truth. Psychologists call this meta-awareness. And while it sounds enlightening, it can also be exhausting. That's what it's like inside a deep thinker's mind. The movie is their own life, and it never stops playing. They can't just experience things, they have to understand them. And understanding requires distance, which sometimes means they're so busy analyzing their life that they forget to actually live it. Deep thinkers don't just remember events, they remember the emotional texture of moments. A song isn't just a song. It's a portal to a specific time, a specific version of themselves, a specific understanding of the world that they've since outgrown but can still access through that melody. This makes nostalgia particularly intense for them. They're not just missing the past, they're mourning versions of themselves that no longer exist. Possibilities that were never realized, paths not taken. But here's something interesting. Deep thinkers are often incredibly creative, not despite their complexity, but because of it. Their mind is constantly making associations, drawing lines between seemingly unrelated concepts, finding patterns in chaos. This is why many are drawn to art, writing, music, philosophy, anything that allows them to externalize their internal world. Without expression, their minds become overcrowded. The thoughts pile up like unread books, demanding attention, creating pressure. But let's be honest about the dark side. Deep thinking, when it turns inward without balance, can become destructive. It can lead to rumination, to analysis paralysis, to existential dread. Deep thinkers are particularly vulnerable to these traps because their strength becomes their weakness when it has no direction, no outlet, no purpose beyond itself. This is why groundedness matters. The healthiest deep thinkers learn to balance their internal world with external engagement. They learn that not every thought needs to be followed to its conclusion. That sometimes the most profound thing you can do is stop thinking and start experiencing. That wisdom isn't about having more thoughts, but about knowing which thoughts deserve your attention and which ones you can let pass by like clouds. There's a beautiful paradox here. The deeper you think, the more you realize how much you don't know. And eventually, if you think deeply enough, you arrive at a kind of intellectual humility that's actually freeing. You stop needing to understand everything. You become comfortable with mystery. You realize that some questions don't have answers, and that's okay. And maybe that's the ultimate gift of deep thinking. The real gift is the capacity to experience life in high definition, to notice subtleties others miss, to find meaning in moments others overlook. Deep thinkers feel more, see more, understand more. And yes, that comes with pain, with overwhelm, with isolation. But it also comes with a richness that makes life feel full, even in its difficulty. So if you're a deep thinker, know that your complexity isn't a flaw. You don't need to think less. You just need to think with intention, to direct that powerful mind toward things that matter. To remember that thoughts are tools, not prisons. And if you love a deep thinker, understand that their silence isn't absence, it's depth. Their hesitation isn't doubt, it's thoroughness. Their need for solitude isn't rejection, it's restoration. Give them that space. Ask them questions that go beneath the surface. Because when a deep thinker trusts you enough to share their inner world, you're getting their most honest self, unfiltered and unguarded. In the end, deep thinking is a way of being in the world. More inward, more complex, more aware of layers and nuances that exist whether we notice them or not. Deep thinkers are the ones who notice, who can't help but notice. And in a world that often moves too fast to think, they serve a purpose. They slow us down, they remind us that depth matters, that there's more to life than what's immediately visible. That's what deep thinkers do. They dive, again and again, into ideas, into emotions, into the great questions that have no easy answers. And when they surface, when they share what they found in the depths, they give us all something precious, a reminder that life is deeper than it appears. that meaning isn't given, it's discovered. And that the mind, when used with curiosity and courage, can illuminate truths that remain hidden to those who never stop to look closely.